Let me confess something. I procrastinated writing this speech. I had weeks to prepare. I told myself, Michelle, start early, research, outline, practice. But did I? Of course not. I found myself doing other things. Important things, obviously, like organizing my shelves, watching just one episode of my favorite show, scrolling social media, checking notifications that didn't even exist. When suddenly, panic. The deadline was staring at me, and I had to rush to get everything done. Sound familiar? Procrastination is a universal struggle. We delay tasks knowing we'll regret it. We push things off until the last moment and promise ourselves, next time, I'll do better. But why do we do this to ourselves? And more importantly, how do we stop? Let me tell y'all a story about something that happened to me when I was in primary school that really showed me the true dangers of procrastination. When I was in year 5, part of our final grade of national values was to make a presentation on everything we had learned that session. This was going to be a group project. I wasn't too nervous because it's been one of my easiest subjects. And my partner, she was going to be my best friend. So in my head, this was an easy A, right? Wrong. We had 9 topics to write on. We had split it up so that I would be doing 4, and her, being a good friend, volunteered to do 5, what I would present. Day 1. I get home, I do my homework, I think about starting my slides, but I have 2 whole weeks. Why would I start now? Now, it's been a week. She's already done her part while I haven't even started mine. But it's fine. I still have enough time. 2 days before, I'm sitting down to finally start this. But wait, did a new episode of my favorite show just drop? Okay, this can wait. I need to see this. The night of, I was in my living room watching television when my mom walked past and asked me a strange question. Michelle? Yes, mom? Are you done your project? What project? I replied. And that's when it all came rushing back to me. My project. The one that was due 40% of my final grade. It was due tomorrow, and I had nothing. This is when I did one of the worst things I could have possibly done in that moment. Both me and her had used the same file for our work, so we could edit each other's slides. She wasn't going to be at school the day of presenting, and I saw this as an opportunity. I changed the name on her slides to my own. And on the day we were meant to present, I presented her hard work as if I had done it. Now, I don't think I was thinking clearly or rationally or even thought of what would come from this. But I certainly didn't expect to come to school the next day and immediately be met with my teacher calling me to his office. When I arrived, I knew what was happening. My friend was already there, and when we locked eyes, the look of disappointment and betrayal on her face was one I couldn't even describe. When my teacher asked me about it, I confessed. I told him everything. I felt so ashamed of myself. And you know what ended up happening? Not only did I fail, but me and her, my best friend, we never spoke again. After that day, I had promised myself I would never let something as small as procrastination push me to that point ever again. Breaking the cycle of procrastination seems hard, but it's really not. You just have to know where to start and what it is in the first place. So, what is procrastination? The world often calls procrastination laziness, but that's not the real issue. Science tells us that procrastination isn't about being lazy, it's about avoiding discomfort. You aren't avoiding work, you're avoiding the stress of work. You aren't delaying a task, you're delaying the anxiety of not getting that task done perfectly. The brain sees a difficult task and thinks, this feels uncomfortable. Let's do something easier instead. And so, we scroll, we snack, we organize our shelves, anything to avoid the task at hand. But the irony, the longer we wait, the worse the discomfort gets. Now, I wish I could give you some magical advice to eliminate procrastination forever, but let's just be honest. It's just a part of being human. What we can do is trick our brains into working with us instead of against us. Do you know the hardest part of any task? It's the beginning. We don't start because we worry we won't be perfect. But here's a secret: 80% done is better than 0% perfect. Messy progress is still progress. Perfection comes from starting, not from waiting for the perfect moment to start. So just tell yourself, I'll only do 2 minutes of work. Write one sentence for that essay, read one paragraph from that textbook, answer one email. And you know what happens? Once you start, your brain realizes, hey, this wasn't so bad, and you want to continue. Your brain hates unfinished tasks. So once you start, you want to keep going. Instead of fighting distractions, use them as rewards. Only watch your favorite show while you exercise. Only scroll social media after you've completed 30 minutes of work. Only drink the amazing iced coffee after you're done your presentation. This way, you retrain your brain to associate productivity with pleasure. Now, imagine this: you, the version of you 1 week from now, is watching you right now. Will they be happy that you started? Or will they be angry that you pushed it off again? Start small, let go of perfection. And remember, procrastination isn't just delaying a task, it's delaying your own greatness. Thank you.